Welcome to Gridcenter. I'm your host Shane Falco, back with Big D. We're here for the Big Ten Conference playoff preview. Got four good teams matching up. I know a couple personal favorites of yours in this conference.
Who personal favorites?
Big D has personal favorites. We'll get into that, I'm sure.
Probably. Let's see.
So first off, we'll list the matchups and then break them down individually, and maybe even do a couple of predictions, unless Big D's not into that sort of thing. So first off, we have the 1 seed, second to none, versus Nellis, who got in off a agreement by the Mad Dogs to have a win-in-your-in scenario instead of the forfeit. And Mad Dogs take the forfeit, they're in, and they decided to play the game. Very hotly contested game. I will say that there were some questionable calls in the game. In the end, though, Nellis comes out with a victory on top, so they get in, and they have a matchup with second to none in the first round.
And the Mad Dogs is out.
Mad Dogs are out.
So they had an opportunity not to play the game and be in, as opposed to play the game and now they're out.
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the 2 versus 3, Lockdown versus the Bulldogs. We've got a team right now that's just playing on fire. Bulldogs have been up and down this season, a little inconsistent. But there might be some matchups there. Week 10 matchup between these two teams was not pretty at all. I'm a big part of that. Well, I can say that. But should be a good game, I think, the second time around. Lockdown's really clicking right now. I mean, they've swept through the Big 12 teams they played. 2 of them playoff teams, so should be a good matchup. I think everyone's expecting to see second to none versus Lockdown for the championship, but as we know, that doesn't always work out that way.
No, playoffs.
And I think one of the reasons is, as we've stated before in the conference preview for the Big 12, MVPs of conferences don't always win championships.
No, they don't.
So, especially in the gridiron, think off of memory, the only one we could think of, like we stated before, was Clee.
Clee was the only one?
And that was last season. So it can be done, but it's not always done. So with that being said, we'll go to the number 1 and number 4, because MVP favorite Justin, Obama, Rambo, what was the whole thing? Ben Lightskin?
Yeah, that's funny. Ben Lightskin.
Ben Lightskin, that's what you went with, right?
Yeah.
He's the MVP favorite for the Big Ten.
Matching up. One of the MVP favorites.
One of the 2.
Okay.
And but I think he's the front runner.
Is he?
I think not unanimously, but pretty heavily favored to win the MVP award.
Just by the fans' votes, or the players' votes?
By the fan votes and on the player votes and whatnot. I mean, by his peers.
See, I think I have a problem with that, with the voting online. I mean, okay, if I got 20 guys, and I'm not saying that Justin's doing it, but he looks like somebody that would do it, would say, hey guys, vote for me. Have his teammates all vote for him. Not too many people go on the web page, so he's getting a lot of votes. I don't know if you could double, triple vote.
But the voting online doesn't necessarily reflect the final outcome.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the peers, and then obviously the staff does have final say, and we'll have our votes as well.
I mean,
I know where I'm leaning already.
Yeah, I know where you're leaning. Yeah.
I think we know where you're not leaning.
Well, I'm leaning, but
we know where you're not leaning.
They're gonna ask, and I'm gonna tell them.
We'll figure that out later. Yeah. So anyway, second to none versus Nellis, second time around. I believe it was a tight game last time, but Nellis has made some changes since then. I mean, T-Money's at quarterback now. They're got some offensive differences that they're running.
I noticed his game changed a lot when he's on the message board less. So he's a little bit more focused. And he's a gamer, he's a baller, just like everybody else. So he knows he has a job to do, and they're going to do it. I mean, I think athletically they match up, and being that Obama, he doesn't throw to receivers, he could play in Nellis' favor.
He could. I mean, as long as the weather's sunglass weather, T-Money's always in the game. So we shall see how that works out.
Can we call him Blade instead of Team Money?
We can, but I mean his name is, he goes by Team Money, but we could always call him Blade.
I'm calling him Blade.
You want to call him Blade?
Yeah.
We'll go with Blade then. So, 2 teams, obviously a lot of athleticism. Nellis was in the Big Ten championship just last season, and came up short.
Was that the game Team Money got hurt?
I do not remember. I do not recall, as a matter of fact.
I think he had a guy had a concussion.
You know what, now that I think about it, I believe you're right.
Yeah.
I believe he did. And he's back with, maybe that's the reason for the sunglasses now, to keep the light out. Who knows? But, anyway.
I don't know where you was going with that one, but okay.
Well, maybe I was going to try and talk about Mike Leach, I don't know, just for Aaron. Because, Mike Leach and his concussion closet thing. Anyway.
Okay.
So, a lot of athletes going. Obviously, with Nellis in a spread now with Blade,
Okay.
you got to worry about Randall coming off the rush, so that's always going to be a factor. Honestly, I see this game as 2 things. It's a very close game. It comes down to the final seconds. I think if it's that kind of game, I actually think Nellis will pull it out. I think they can pull off the upset.
Yeah, I think so too.
If second inning gets up early, then I think it's gonna. I don't think Nellis can fight back. I think it'll be a wrap.
I don't know about that either.
I do. I think so.
Second and none got up early on RC Vegas.
Right, but that's a different team altogether, and that's Don King's all-time greatest QB, Cody leading it. So different situations, I think. I think it's going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be a good game, and you'll notice during the playoffs this week, if you guys stay at the field and watch, certain things that happen during the regular season never happens during the playoffs.
Right.
So, I mean,
things always go different.
If you can find a way to shut certain things down, and another person doesn't panic, because another person doesn't have to worry about, well, this is my last game, and then it could happen. Right. If the guy's focused, if he's crisp, and he's that quarterback that could still do the same things over and over again, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
I'm predicting a problem. But then again, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's Big D. Yeah. So let's move on to the 2-3 matchup. Lockdown, firing all cylinders right now, really clicking, really hitting stride. Bulldogs kind of limping into the playoffs, took a couple on the chin, and then also laid it to the Scrappers. It was a light Scrappers team, but nonetheless it was the Scrappers. So week 10 they didn't match up too well. Lockdown jumped on them real early. I take the blame for that. But there were some things that were there and available. Just didn't capitalize on opportunities. Brad's playing lights out football right now. I believe that's where you're leaning for your MVP vote. I'm pretty sure it is.
Who knows?
So we'll see. I mean, if the vote goes to where the popular vote seems to be, then Brad won't win the MVP, so that means he's probably going to win the championship.
I was about to say that. But who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, hey, Bulldogs can step their game up, or Nellis can step their game up and be in the finals and win the championship.
Absolutely. I think these teams all match up very well.
I'm sorry. The Mad Dogs could have just said no, and now they're not in the playoffs.
Correct.
Is that like some street code? I'm not a punk, I'll play. Did they get talked into something like that? What's going on with that?
Well, there was a lot of forum banter.
It was
about that.
So they pretty much, you're a bitch. I'll show you I'm not a bitch. I'll show up there and I'll play the game. And
honestly, I don't know. I was in the magical kingdom when all this was going down. So I came back, first day back, and I found out the schedule changed myself. So I had no idea that it was happening.
Wow.
I give them respect for doing it, but obviously, what do you do? What do you do? But anyway, that's how that's going to go. So we'll see if Lockdown can repeat their success against the Bulldogs from week 10, or if Bulldogs come out and do a different thing. As far as matchups, what do you think who's going to take this conference?
Okay. It's hard to. I'm going Lockdown.
You going to go Lockdown?
I'm going Lockdown. with no excuses.
Very safe pick.
Yeah.
Very safe pick. I don't know. I don't know who I can go with in this one. It's really tough. Just because it's you and your history with Ben Lightskin, I'm gonna say that he's the second MVP because that's my leaning vote to win the MVP and the conference championship.
You can go with that.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Well, let's go.
It's safe, I know, because they're the number one seed and they're expected to, but number one seeds rarely win, especially in this league.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the Big Ten. I'm Shane Falco along with Big D. Good luck to all the teams out there.